Good day. So today I am going to discuss about The Green Morning by Ray Bradbury. Let's start with the introduction. The introduction explains that The Green Morning is a short episode or vignette taken from Ray Bradbury's The Martian Chronicles in 1950. It is a book that tells interconnected stories about the human colonization of Mars. It introduces the main character, Benjamin Driscoll, whose goal is to make the Martian environment suitable for human life by planting thousands of trees. This opening point, this opening points out that the story is not just science fiction, but it is also has a poetic and environmental message. He blends imaginative futuristic elements with descriptions of nature, showing how humans carry their desire to rebuild or replicate Earth even when they move to another planet. So, through vivid imagery and symbolic elements, Bradbury emphasizes the emotional connection between human hope and the natural world, suggesting that belief, effort, and the power of nature can transform even an alien and barren landscape into something alive and familiar. This sets the tone for a story that is both imaginative and deeply meaningful. Okay, so let us now proceed to the plot summary. So, the plot summary describes the main event of the Green Morning and show how Benjamin Driscoll's actions transform Mars. When Driscoll first arrives on the planet, he immediately faints because the Martian atmosphere is too thin and lacks oxygen. So this moment shows both the danger of the new world and the weakness of humans in unfamiliar environments. Realizing that the air must be improved for future settlers to survive. Driscoll commits himself to planting thousands of trees. He travels across the dusty red Martian landscape, digging holes and burying seeds, such as apple trees, oaks, maples, and pines, believing that someday these trees will produce enough oxygen to make Mars livable. So, even though the planet seems dry, empty, and unfriendly to life, Driscoll keeps his hope alive. His perseverance is rewarded after a sudden rainstorm. When he wakes up, he discovers a breathtaking miracle. The seeds he planted have grown into huge forests overnight. So Mars, once barren and lifeless, has become green, lush, and filled with vegetation that resembles Earth. Driscoll feels joy and pride because he has succeeded in bringing life to an alien world. So the phrase "the green morning" symbolizes this new beginning or a fresh start filled with growth, hope, and renewal. Okay, so next we have here the characters Benjamin Driscoll and Mars. So Benjamin Driscoll is our main character of the story, and he represents the spirit of human hope and determination. Although he arrives on Mars physically weak, um, faint, he was fainting because the thin air cannot support him. His inner strength is revealed through his perseverance. Driscoll imagines a greener, more livable Mars and works tirelessly to make that dream real by planting thousands of trees. So his character symbolizes humanity's belief in renewal, the power of nature, and the idea that even one person's efforts can bring about great change. So his weakness of body but strength of will highlights the contrast between human limitations and human ambition. And then next, we have Mars. So, in the story, Mars is more than just a setting. It acts almost like a character with its own moods and reactions. So, at first, Mars is harsh. He is dry, barren, silent, and seemingly unable to sustain life. Then the planet challenges Driscoll and represents the obstacles humanity faces when entering new and unknown worlds. However, after the rainstorm, Mars undergoes a dramatic transformation. It becomes green, alive, and nurturing, as if responding to Driscoll's hope and hard work. So, this change symbolizes the idea that nature can cooperate with those who treat it with care and vision. So, Mars transformation reflects not only environmental change but also Driscoll's inner journey from struggle to triumph. Okay, next then we have themes. So first is the human transformation of new worlds. So these theme focuses on how humans reshape the environments they settle in. So in the story, Driscoll's mission to plant trees shows how settlers carry their earthly habits, their needs, and dreams with them, even to another planet. So instead of accepting Mars as it is, humans try to make it resemble Earth, hoping to create a familiar or livable world. So this reflects the broader idea that whenever humans explore new lands, they tend to modify and influence these spaces based on their own values and desires. And then next is about hope, faith, and renewal. So Driscoll's actions symbolize human belief in progress and new beginnings. So even though the Martian environment seems harsh and empty, he plants seeds with the faith that they will someday grow and help future generations. So his determination represents the idea that even small efforts, when fueled by hope, can lead to meaningful change. So Driscoll's faith in the seeds mirrors humanity's belief that better futures can be created through perseverance and vision. And then next is the power of nature. So the story highlights nature's ability to create life in even the most unexpected places. So the overnight growth of the trees is something impossible by normal standards, but it suggests that nature has its own mysterious strength. It shows that nature can flourish when treated with care and intention. So Bradbury portrays nature not as something humans fully control, but as a powerful force that can respond positively to human hope and effort. So this theme emphasizes that growth, renewal, and life can appear where they are least expected. And then next is colonization and environmental responsibility. So these focuses on the idea that when humans settle in a new place, whether on Earth or another planet, they carry a responsibility to treat the environment with respect. So, in The Green Morning, Bradbury shows a positive example of colonization through Driscoll's actions. So, instead of exploiting Mars or damaging it for human benefit, Driscoll works to enrich the land by planting trees. His mission helps both humans and the planet itself. So Bradbury suggests that true colonization should involve nurturing and improving the environment, not harming it. So the story serves as a reminder that progress must go hand in hand with care, stewardship, and respect for nature. And then last is man versus environment or man with environment. So this explores the evolving relationship between humans and the natural world. So at the beginning of the story, Driscoll struggles against Mars. So the thin air overwhelms him, the land seems barren, and the nature appears unwelcoming. So this represents the classic conflict of man versus environment, where humans fight for survival against a hostile setting. However, by the end of the story, the relationship shifts. After the rain, Mars unexpectedly supports Driscoll's efforts, allowing the trees to grow overnight. So this signals a transition to man with environment, where human intention and natural forces work together. So the harmony between Driscoll and Mars symbolizes the idea that cooperation, not domination, leads to true growth and transformation. Okay, so we are done with the themes. Let us now proceed to the setting of the story. So Mars is depicted as a harsh and lifeless world at the beginning of the story. So Bradbury describes the planet as red, barren, silent, and lacking oxygen, emphasizing how empty and unwelcoming it is for human settlers. It's a desert like landscape, the dry soil, open plains, and stillness. It creates a sense of isolation and difficulty, showing the challenge Benjamin Driscoll faces when he tries to bring life to this unfamiliar environment. However, the setting dramatically changes after a rainstorm. So Mars suddenly becomes green, alive, and filled with vegetation, transforming into a world that resembles Earth. So this sudden shift not only signals a physical change but also highlights the story's magical and hopeful tone. So Bradbury does not portray Mars as a purely scientific location governed by strict natural laws. Instead, he presents it as a poetic and almost mythical world, a place where extraordinary and miraculous events can happen. So the setting therefore becomes essential, or it becomes important in expressing the story's themes of transformation, renewal, and the unexpected power of nature. And then we have here the symbols: the trees, the rain, and the green morning. So the trees are one of the most important symbol in the story. They represent life, oxygen, and rebirth, showing how something living can grow even in the harshest conditions. So by planting many different kinds of trees, Driscoll expresses humanity's natural desire to grow, create, and survive even on another planet. So the trees also symbolize hope taking root, or both literally and figuratively, in a barren world. So their sudden miraculous growth demonstrates how dreams and efforts can flourish when supported by faith and perseverance. And then the rain serves as a powerful symbol of cleansing and renewal. It washes over the empty Martian land and becomes the turning point in the story. So, as a catalyst for transformation, the rain causes the seeds to grow into tall, thriving trees almost overnight. So, this symbolizes nature's ability to cooperate with human intention. And then the rain also suggests that when humans treat the land with respect and hope, nature responds in ways that support life and growth. It is a moment where the natural world works harmoniously with Driscoll's streams. And then the green morning symbolizes the birth of a new world. It represents a fresh beginning not only for Mars but also for the humans hoping to settle there. The praise captures the transformation of the planet from a dry wasteland into a place full of life. It also reflects the outcome of patience, faith, and effort, showing that positive change can arise from dedication and belief. The Green Morning stands as a hopeful vision of what humans and nature can create together. Okay, so next, let's talk about the conflict. So we have um, the external conflict and the internal conflict in the story. For the external conflict, we have man versus nature. So the main external conflict in the story is Driscoll's struggle against the harsh Martian environment. So Marsh is dry, oxygen poor, and unfriendly to human life, causing Driscoll to faint shortly after his arrival. So the thin atmosphere and barren land challenge his mission to plant trees and create a livable world. So these conflict highlights how difficult it is for humans to survive and thrive in an unfamiliar environment. So he must use determination and effort to overcome the physical obstacle that Mars presents. And then for the internal conflict, it is about man versus self. So, alongside his environmental struggle, Driscoll also battles internally with fear, doubt, and uncertainty. He does not know whether the seeds he plants will ever grow or whether his efforts will make any difference. So he must convince himself to keep going even when the land appears empty and hopeless. So these internal conflict shows how powerful belief and perseverance can be. So Driscoll's success depends not only on external conditions, but also on his inner strength and willingness to hope. So the importance of inner struggle, Bradbury emphasizes that the most meaningful conflicts often occur inside a person. So, although Driscoll faces a hostile planet, his greatest challenge is maintaining faith in his work. So, by overcoming his doubts, he becomes capable of transforming Mars. So, the story here suggests that personal courage and inner determination are essential or very important for achieving extraordinary change. Okay, next, let us now talk about the writing style of Ray Bradbury. So first is it is poetic and a lyrical language. So Bradbury's writing in The Green Morning is rich with sensory details that bring Mars vividly to life. He describes the silence of the planet, the red dust that covers the landscape, and the sudden burst of green trees after the rain. So, this poetic and lyrical use of language helps readers feel the atmosphere and mood of the story, making the alien world more tangible and emotional. And then next, it is figurative imagery. So Bradbury uses metaphors and symbolic images to make the story feel magical and meaningful. So themes of birth, breath, and awakening run throughout the narrative as Mars changes from lifeless to full of vegetation. So these figurative images deepen the emotional impact, suggesting that the transformation of Mars is like the start of new life or a fresh dawn. And then it is also soft science fiction. So, unlike hard science fiction, which focuses on detailed scientific facts and technology, Bradbury's story emphasizes emotion, philosophy, and imagination. He is less concerned with scientific accuracy and more interested in exploring human feelings, hope, and environmental themes. So, this style makes the story accessible and poetic rather than technical. And then last is it is optimistic tone. So, despite the initial harshness of Mars, Bradbury's tone throughout the story is hopeful and uplifting. The miraculous overnight growth of trees symbolizes a miracle of life and renewal. Bradbury encourages readers to believe in the power of hope, faith, and human effort to overcome obstacles and bring positive change. Okay, so the tone and mood of the story is hopeful and imaginative, reflecting Benjamin Driscoll's optimistic vision for transforming Mars. So Bradbury writes with a sense of reverence toward nature, showing deep respect for the natural world and its power to heal and renew. This tone encourages readers to feel inspired by the possibilities of growth and change, even in seemingly impossible situations. And then for the mood of the story shifts as the narrative progresses. At the beginning, the mood is lonely and desolate. Mars feels empty, silent, and inhospitable. This creates a sense of isolation and struggle for Driscoll and the readers. However, after the rainstorm and the miraculous growth of trees, the mood transformed into one of wonder, awe, joy, and inspiration. So the sudden greening of Mars fills the story with excitement and hope, inviting us to share in Driscoll's celebration of life and renewal. So, what are the moral or message of the story? So the story, The Green Morning, conveys several important lessons about human action and our relationship with nature. So one key message is that small actions can create big change. Benjamin Driscoll's simple act of planting seeds ultimately transforms an entire planet. This teaches us that even seemingly modest efforts can lead to remarkable results when done with patience and faith. Another important lesson is that caring for nature leads to unexpected miracles. So, when us humans treat the environment, or when we treat the environment with respect and nurture it, um, nature often responds in ways beyond our understanding, offering hope and renewal where we least expect it. So the story also emphasizes that humanity must plant hope, symbolized by Driscoll's trees, even when circumstances seem hopeless or barren. This speaks to the power of optimism and perseverance, encouraging readers to continue striving for better futures despite difficulties. Then finally, Bradbury's narrative warns that colonization should be creative, not destructive. When humans settle new lands, they have a responsibility to improve and care for them rather than exploit or damage them. So the story advocates for a harmonious relationship between humans and nature. So one that fosters growth and life rather than depletion. And so for the conclusion, The Green Morning beautifully showcases Ray Bradbury's talent for blending science fiction with poetic and environmental themes. Through the character of Benjamin Driscoll, Bradbury celebrates hope, perseverance, and the incredible power of nature to bring life to barren places. The story conveys a powerful message. So, when human dreams and efforts work in harmony with nature, even the most lifeless and inhospitable worlds can be transformed into vibrant, living landscapes. This hopeful vision encourages readers to believe in the possibility of renewal and the positive impact that individuals can make through dedication and care. Okay, so that's it for the green morning. I've also prepared here five discussion questions that you need to answer in a one whole sheet of pad paper. Thank you so much for listening.